David Medina.
Thank you, Mayor. And first, I want to thank everybody who's come here to the chambers today to be able to talk about this. This is something that's very important because obviously these are small businesses here in our community, in our city, that are out in our neighborhoods, not only providing jobs for people, but probably doing a lot more in terms of charity and helping others. And if we can help these businesses grow, I'm sure that there's many other ways that they will give back to the community as well, not only by employment, but charitable acts and ways of mentoring and interning others in our community to be able to go and get started in this particular field. So I want to thank everybody for coming today once again to speak. I want to thank our staff for the work thus far that we've been doing on this. And at the end of the day, obviously, I take a look at something that's in front of me here. And although we wish we could move faster, at this time right now, I think that we are taking steps forward, strategic steps, in order to ensure that we can move on solid ground. And taking a look at the different information on this 5-year contracting diversity action plan, I see adjustments in terms of taking a look at bonding. We want to thank our partner in terms of Acción for being here today. Insurance adjustments in terms of the insurance requirements for the small businesses as well, because I can understand that as a small contractor, before you can even take a look at these types of opportunities, you would need to ensure that you're bonded and you have insurance available to be able to submit for the project. Also at the same time, taking a look at the partnerships with our banks, our local financial institutions, to ensure that we can work on ways to have financing, and whether those requirements or regulations, or actually requirements that the banks have right now, can be revisited and take a look and see if they could be more flexible for smaller businesses to be able to have an opportunity to get a cut at this pie, so to speak. And at the end of the day, taking a look at some of our contracts that maybe we can debundle. I take a look here and I see that there's contracts that would possibly be under $50,000 or $50,000 or less that could be debundled, and giving more opportunity for small businesses, small contractors, to be able to go out there and really work towards getting a fair shake, an opportunity to do business here with the city. We are playing a bit of catch up. I can definitely say that. And I think it's something that Latino, African American, Native American, Asian American community has for many years had to work to overcome these challenges, and we're still doing that. And here we are today, I believe, adopting something, voting on something that would work towards taking us to that next step moving forward. It's going to be up to the community, our community residents, our business community, to ensure that city staff does what is necessary and holds them accountable, along with this council, moving forward, to ensure that we really do put our money where our mouth is. And we go out there and we work diligently to recruit more small businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses to our pool that we have right now. Those are going to be the steps that we have to take, and I'm fully committed to continuing to go out to the west side and recruit more of those businesses, along with our east side, our south side, along with our north side, to be able to ensure that we can grow that number. So once again, thank you everyone for showing up here today to speak on this. This is very important for economic development in the future, for our future leaders and our future business people here in San Antonio. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Medina. Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, this has been an extremely frustrating thing for me. I first got briefed on this about almost 4 years ago. And when I was briefed, I realized almost immediately that we didn't have a clue what we were doing. We didn't have the data. We didn't have the organizations to talk to. We didn't have the contacts. I mean, and routinely they'd come to try to talk to me. And I go, now, I ain't talking. You haven't got anything to say. Well, I think for the first time, we're starting to have something to say. And Councilwoman Taylor's right. It is just a start. And without identifying folks, we can't go anywhere. Without having mentoring programs, without having financing, like Acción wants to bring forward, without having bonding, and without the city taking some risk on some of their bonding, we can't go forward. But I think for the first time, we're starting to identify people, and it's not so much from the city's part, it's that some folks out there decided to be activists. okay? I think the city's had the will. Scouter, I think you're right. I think we have the will. We just hadn't had the data. And we hadn't had the people that wanted to be activists in the capitalist society. This is this is an incredibly encouraging thing for our city, that people want to enter the capitalist activities. And they're willing to risk their own money. They can just get some bonding and some insurance and some ability to get their foot in there and get some help from the larger contractors. And this mentoring program is huge. It is a daunting task to start an organization, keep it going, make sure you can get all the checks there before the bills come in, pay your employees. This is not easy. So I'm very encouraged. I am not depressed as I was 4 years ago about this, but it's still got a lot of work. And I'm most encouraged because of the activism I'm seeing in the community, because that's what's going to take us over the top on this. So thank you very much. I am feeling better as I move out, but don't slow down, folks, because you got a long way to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. Councilwoman Ozuna.
Yeah, this issue in terms of the diversity of our contracting pool for our city projects, that's one that I have always paid attention to, just being a small business owner and competing in a different environment, at a different landscape. And coming into a city as diverse as San Antonio, and looking at the plan that we had in place to put under the umbrella all of the minority and women-owned businesses in town, I was really taken aback. It just seemed, why did it take so long? Well, we have a plan to go forward, and a plan to appropriately allocate the contracts to better reflect what we have inside of City Hall, to reflect the work that we have going on outside of City Hall. And I think that's a really good thing, to be striving to match the diversity on the ground. I feel the frustration of why did it take so long, but I also know the other side of it was mis-executed, we could blow the game. So what we have here is a good plan that lays out the steps, that gets us to the goal. I'm very excited to be continuing to be a part of the implementation, and I'm just very honored, Mr. Calvert, that you gave us the challenge of the willpower. I think I can speak for council here to say we have that. This is the right thing to do, and we have the willpower to go forward. So I think that's all I have to say on this. Thank you so much for the floor.
Great. Again, thank you very much for forging this very important first step in ensuring that there's broader opportunity with regard to the City of San Antonio and its contracting, and we look forward to ensuring that this is implemented well. Okay, there's no action that's required at this time. Okay, let's go on to item number 7.
Item number 7 is an ordinance authorizing a Chapter 380 Economic Development Program grant agreement with OCI Solar Power in the amount of $380,000, subject to OCI Solar Power LLC locating its corporate headquarters in downtown San Antonio and creating 76 corporate jobs.